Hello, Dr. Karen here. I hope you're having a great, fantastic day. Today is another installment of the Healthy Habits, Healthy Life mini video series. So every week I come on, usually on the weekend, and share with you one of the habits that I have that I consider a healthy habit that keeps me in a happier, healthier, more balanced place. I didn't realize when I first started this, which was at the beginning of 2022, that doing this on a weekly basis, wow, I actually have a lot of healthy habits because I have enough material for well over a year. But instead of, releasing something every single day, which could be kind of overwhelming for most people, I kind of give you a little bit every week. And so you can see whether or not that tip resonates with you, whether you feel drawn to checking it out. And some of it will totally resonate, others not so much. And that's okay. So I have not accumulated all these healthy habits in a matter of weeks or even months. I mean, this is over years of experience and being dedicated to my wellness and happiness and my health, and of course, helping many, many thousands of people across the world with their health and happiness, etc. So, a lot of this comes from personal experience as well as experience working with clients, former patients, etc. Now, today's healthy habit tip is actually one of my favorites. I know, but some of you are like, wow, it's taking a while for her to release this one. I think this is episode 10. It actually is using Ascension 3. So, what is Ascension 3? Well, it is a tool that I created to help people automatically heal and protect them. So, in Topican healing, which is the healing method that I teach, we teach people how to align with source, ask quality questions to get answers to all of their healing questions, and then do an activation. So, there is some skill sets involved and some learning how to do divine muscle testing, doing the directives, the intention, things like that. I thought, well, would it be really great, especially in between, like, for example, my VIP sessions or my group healing sessions? Wouldn't it be great in between if people could have something with them at all times to support and continue that healing, to automatically, clear and release entities that they may come in contact with just in their everyday life, help to clear a space around them, help them to acknowledge and be aware of what wants to heal next. And kind of like having a magic wand. So instead of people necessarily learning Topican level one training, which is, a few $1,000s, to learn how to do what I do, they can have this tool, Ascension 3 tool, to really use on the go, basically to give it orders. So it has the power of the healing modality, if you will. Um, but you don't have to muscle test and do all that kind of stuff. You just have to tell it what it is you want to do. Now, when we first started this, people were kind of set like, what should I say? And I'm like, well, just tell whatever you want. But sometimes that was a little too vague. So I did actually create a mini course, which I'll show you in a moment. So what is Ascension 3? Well, it's energy infused jewelry and products. This is one of my favorites. This is one I actually use pretty much every day, or when I'm doing my VIP clients. It's actually sitting right to the left of me, right to the left of me. You know what I mean? To the left of me. And I use it to amplify the Topican healing that we're already doing. And sometimes it just makes it faster. So, for example, in Topican healing, I might have a healing directive. I now command that all my boundaries, physical and non physical, be completely restored and sovereign to the highest and best way, all directions of time and all timelines where I exist with ease, speed, and grace now. Thank you. Right. So that's kind of long. Or I could say Ascension 3, reboot all my boundaries. Thanks. Okay, because it already knows. um, so it's kind of a shortcut. So the pyramid is a super strong. Now, each of the Ascension pieces, this is another one. I've got some earrings. I have silicone bracelets. I'll talk about those in a sec. So silicone bracelets, these are our least pricey option, and other types of bracelets and things like that that are infused. So each of them have the same Ascension 3 infusion, which I'll tell you in a moment what that is, with the exception of one of the items, which is actually 3R. So let's start with Ascension 3. So what is Ascension 3? Ascension 3 is a collection of positive high vibrational frequencies that help with healing. Now, one of my flagship programs called the Light Warrior Boot Camp, now Light Warrior Boot Camp 2.0, is all about clearing entities, clearing negative energy from yourself inside and out, from people that take care of, from your home and property, from your electronics, and from your sleep realms. Those are kind of the four main things in that particular program. And the MP3 MP4 in there for automatic healing is called Ascension 1 and 2. So Ascension 1 is a set of positive frequencies that actually auto clear, or when you play that MP3 or those frequencies, auto clear entities, negative energies, curses, vows, contracts, toxins, all that kind of stuff. So when you play it with intention, you can point it to someone, point it to yourself. In other words, just in your mind, direct it to that person. If it's allowed to clear, it'll clear. If it's safe to clear, it'll clear. So Ascension 1 is for clearing and protection. Now, Ascension 2, which is the other flagship product in the Light Warrior Bootcamp, which was in an MP3, MP4 format, was to add positive energies. So it was called healing and integration. So the positive frequencies, like the positive frequencies of essential oils, or zeolite, or the positive morphic field of 100% healthy boundaries, or evolving your chakras, like there's a myriad of possibilities of positive energy. So Ascension 2 actually downloads and activates these to you. And so Ascension 1 kind of takes away negative energy and does the protection. Ascension 2 actually adds in energy and evolves you, and helps you integrate the healing. So both together, it's a form of automatic healing. So what people were doing, they were playing Ascension 1 and 2, sometimes simultaneously, because they'd have Ascension 1 running on one cell phone, they would have Ascension 2 running on their desktop in the background. You could even have it on silent and it would work. And then every day they would just say, okay, this is what I want you to work on. They'd have a list, work on my kidneys, my cousin, right, my space, clear my space, right, and they'd have a long list of things that they wanted it to do. Some people would do it twice a day. Usually once a day is enough, but they would make that intention, have the list, and they would say press play and go, right? And then the frequencies would know what to do. So in the past, I have asked Source, can I combine these two into one, MP3? Because, it was just, it was convenient, but not that convenient to play it, either back to back or on two different devices. And sometimes people would forget that, I played Ascension 1, I forgot to play Ascension 2, did it? Things like that, right? So Source is no. And I was like, okay. So I, months, years went by, and I thought, I'm going to ask a different question. I said, is it possible for one thing to hold or channel these frequencies simultaneously? And the answer was yes. So I said, oh, okay. Well, if it's not MP3, MP4, look, what is it? Guess what it was? It was crystal. It was crystal, glass, jewelry, things with mineral content in it. And actually, it doesn't actually necessarily have to be minerals, because silicone works as well, just to hold the frequency. I was like, oh, so I can infuse a physical product with Ascension 1 and 2. And then it can be the channel and radiation of both negative and positive, in terms of taking away negative energy, adding positive energy together in one piece. I was so excited. So then when I thought, okay, well, I'm not a retailer, so I'm like, I don't know anything about selling jewelry or whatever, right? So I was like, okay, what else would be for the highest and greatest good for us to infuse, if anything? Because literally Ascension 1 and 2 can have any frequency that you want. So why do you need anything else, right? But I thought, well, I'll ask. So it's that what would be for the highest and greatest good? Like maybe an energy that's added in, that's just a little bit more dominant, that's there all the time, even if you don't ask for it, right? So I got that the Schumann resonance, or Schumann resonances, would be for the highest and greatest good. And I'm like, oh yeah, right, because they're really healing for the human body. And I was like, well, you know what? The people that do the infusion, Energy Tools International, already has a product called the EMF transformer, and they have their own jewelry that's infused with that one frequency, Schumann resonance. So I thought, well, yeah, definitely. Let's add that in because they spent the big bucks to get the data to prove that it works. Yeah, I think it was 30,000. Let's just say I don't have 30,000 for research just laying around. Okay, so they spent $30,000 in research to prove that their Schumann resonance frequencies actually mitigate the negative effects of EMF. So they did cell phone research with Dr. Jeffrey Fannin, very famous neuro, scientist, researcher guy, right? Paid him to do that work, and showed that yeah, when you have the Schumann frequencies infused into a device next to your cell phone, that you don't get that heating and stress in the brain like you would if it wasn't there. So it was great because I could use their data, right? I love proof, right? So I was like, okay, we're putting that in. So then my friend and student Angela Horn said, "Hey, have you heard about Hidden Night Gem?" And I thought, no, but she tells me a lot of stuff, and I don't necessarily always go down that rabbit hole, right? But I was like, I've never heard of this gem. So I looked it up, and or she gave me the link, and I looked it up, and I thought, oh my gosh, just check it out. Like just literally like internet search hit the positive properties or the properties of hidden night gem, and it's really in alignment with the stuff that I already do. It was like a helper, right? It was like heart stuff, healing stuff, protection stuff. I mean, I was like, this is so cool. I never heard of this gem. And so I thought, I said to Energy Tools, hey, I'd like you to infuse my jewelry with Hidden Night Gem. And they said, well, we don't have one, so you're going to have to buy it. I'm like, okay, well, you guys have like the best diamond in the world that you've copied the frequencies of, the best amethyst of the world. I mean, they've gotten these from like people that are collectors, right? So like high end stuff, right? They didn't have Hidden Night Gem. I'm like, oh boy. So I go online and I'm trying to find Hidden Night Gem, and I find a whole bunch of them from different countries, but it's supposed to be the original from North Carolina. Well, guess what? It's more expensive than diamond. Well, I shouldn't say it's more expensive than diamond. It is harder to find, much harder to find than diamond. Well, I ended up finding a sliver on eBay or something like that. Sent it to them, and they said, "Yep, we got enough. We can copy that." And so we have that in there. And then on a whim, I said to them, I've been learning a lot about the flower of life and how in this universe it is the blueprint of creation. And so just curious, do you have the frequency of the blueprint of the flower of life? They said, yes, we do. I said, oh my gosh, that is so awesome, right? So, I'm sending them like the MP3 for, Ascension 1 and 2. And they said, I don't know, it's not resonating with us. Can you send us a vial of Ascension 1 and 2 that you personally infuse? I said, I can do that. So they sent me vials of trace minerals just to hold the frequency, these little plastic bottles, and I labeled them Ascension 1 and 2. And I actually sat inside my copper pyramid and had it each one of them at a time in my hands, so Ascension 1. And I literally meditated and did the infusion manually, okay, to capture it in that bottle. And then I did the same with Ascension 2. I'm in the pyramid and I'm meditating and I'm infusing Ascension 2. And then I, mailed it to them, and they did their testing and they said, yeah, that was it. And I regret actually not having a conversation with Yuri Krohn because now he is passed. But at first he said, yeah, I had one of our trusted healer friends test it. And I'm like, part of my ego was like, I hope she's likes it. Like, that imposter syndrome. I'm like, oh my gosh, because they didn't tell me they were going to do that. But the next thing he said was, they were really impressed. And I was like, oh, phew, okay, good. So I was like, okay. So that's what's in it. We have Ascension 1 infused, Ascension 2, we have Schumann resonance to help with EMF, mitigation of EMF, stress, 5G, that kind of thing. We have the properties of Hidden Night Gem and the properties of the Flower of Life. So I have a whole course to show you how to use it at a higher level. I mean, you can just wear it, right? It'll give you automatic healing that way. But you may want to know a more sophisticated level on how to do that. So let me go ahead and share my screen. I will. Let's see. Go here. I think hopefully this is doing this right. Okay, so the store is not open yet as of this recording. However, so we are, what are we, March 13th? Yeah, March 13th, 2020, when I'm recording this. Tomorrow, March 14th, usually the second week of the month, we are open for 7 days only. Like I said, retail is like not my main thing. Okay, so that's all I can handle. That's all my staff can handle. 7 days. Open store. So here is the store. You can't go there now and see this because I'm in the back office, so you can see what it looks like. So just want to show you on the home page. Okay, we have our latest, some featured items here, and we have usually every month we launch one or two new items too. Some of the Swarovski crystals that I love and was, thinking I would just continue, creating these forever because I love them so much and they hold the frequency so well. And Swarovski crystals are blank energetically, so they hold the new frequencies. You don't have to overlay whatever frequency is already there, which with Ascension 1 and 2, it's not a problem, but with other technologies, it might be. So, yeah, but Swarovski will not sell to me anymore. I mean, in other words, I would have to buy $40,000 worth of crystals a year in order for them to even consider, selling me these. So they're not going to be available. And we're finding retailers all over the world. Some are way too expensive, but to find the last little bits of the Swarovski crystal that I am allowed to have. So we are having new options because we might run out of Swarovski crystals. So there may be other crystals and other brands. We're trying different things out. Sometimes they're a bust and other times they're good. So, but anyway, so we have the, new stuff there, and talk about what Ascension 3 is. We have some testimonials. Here's what I want to show you. Okay. So I sent a necklace to Switzerland to these people who learned through Dr. Masaru Emoto's work, Messages in Water. You're probably familiar with his amazing work. Anyway, so they were taught how to do the frozen water crystals to see them under the microscope to see whether or not they have any structure. And they have that technique down. So they're actually helping a lot of healers verify and validate their healing tools. So I heard from a friend that they were validating their healing tool. They had like a coaster, something like that. I don't make those. If you put your water 8 hours over the coaster, that it would make this beautiful structured water, which is completely awesome. So I contacted the people in Switzerland and I said, hey, I would love to test my jewelry. They said, sure, send a sample along. So I sent them one of my, pieces of jewelry. And so what they said was frozen distilled water. They always start with that, and they do like a control. So before it touches the jewelry or even close to it, everything's frozen distilled water, and then they freeze that, right? Then they show the sample the whatever energies it wants to, you want to test. So frozen distilled water, which was not exposed to Ascension 3, there's no real crystal form. It's just kind of there. It's kind of a blob, And that's the thing, by the way, if you drink distilled water, it's not necessarily good for you because the water is not structured. You have to structure the water. You have to put minerals back in. I talked about that in episode 1. So, but frozen water has no major structure. So she asked me, okay, so I will put the necklace next to the test water for 8 hours, and then we'll take a picture. I said, let me ask. So I asked Source, I said, well, how long should she, do it for? And Source said 9 seconds. And I said, 9 seconds or 9 minutes? 9 seconds. I said, okay. So I went back and I said, okay, so here's what you do. Create whatever intention you want. It could be the word healing. It could be whatever it is you want, the intention. You look at or touch the piece, then you look at the water and you infuse it in, and you just focus your attention on the water for about 9 seconds. And you just say whatever it is, like infuse this water with healing or love or better relationships or whatever. Okay. For 9 seconds. And then you're done. Freeze it. She goes, okay. And my husband at the time goes, 9 seconds? That doesn't sound like really long time. And I said, don't worry. If we don't get crystals, we'll just put it in for longer. Right? I said, but 9 seconds is what source says. So you want to see the results? Okay, here we are. So after 9 seconds, we get a beautiful, in this case, hexagonal crystal. Now, of course, if we'd left it longer, possibly you would have a fancier, whatever, but this is 9 seconds, and her intention was healing. Now, healing's pretty vague, right? So theoretically, there could be a lot of different types of crystals related to healing. So this is a 9-second exposure to the Ascension 3 energies that she projected from the necklace. So you can see there is this beautiful hexagonal structure. Now, normally for that company, you buy, each photograph, and I only bought one, but they actually gifted me another one. So I'll show you that one. It's this one. No, it looks really huge on the screen. Sorry. There we go. Okay. Isn't that gorgeous? Yeah. So I was like, wow, that's so amazing. And, I put them up. I was just so grateful and thankful to have that validation, right? That I'm not just not nuts. That, the healing energy really is real. I know I've been validated by, thousands of people saying how awesome it is. And, the other healers and things like that. I get it, but the ego sometimes is like, oh no, am I good enough? So this is really great. Now, what was really interesting about this photo, and I didn't catch it right away, is that someone says, isn't a pentagon satanic? And I was like, what? And I looked again, I'm like, hey, it's not a hexagonal structure, it's pentagonal. That's really unusual because most of Masaru Emoto's beautiful, beautiful pictures are almost all hexagonal, right? So I thought, well, let me look it up. So my first thought, and I did talk to my mentor Marcus, who's all about sacred geometry, anything like that. But my first thought before doing that was, well, it's one of the platonic solids. You know what I mean? Like the pentagonal, it's in the dodecahedron. And I know for a fact that the so-called, satanic worshipers and things like that, they take what's positive and they distort it to their purposes to negative. So, for example, 666, people think it's a sign of the devil. Well, actually, it's a very high frequency number that they have usurped and used for their negative purposes, but it's actually a very powerful number, 333, 999, 666. I mean, all these numbers, right? And same thing with the pentagonal, the star, the different symbols. They love those so-called negative people love the occult because they know how powerful it is and how it works. So what they do is they tell us it's bad, and they use it, so we don't use it. I know, very sneaky, isn't it? So I thought, well, does a pentagonal crystal actually occur in nature? So I looked it up, and sure enough, it does, but it was rare. They found it on some glacier, this very, very, very rare pentagonal shaped ice crystal. It is not common. So I think it was like God's source, giving me a hint, which I could pretty much miss until somebody pointed out. You're special. I mean, everyone's special, right? But it was like this extra little confirmation, and I was just like, "That's so cool! Oh my gosh!" It's like, oh, I can feel it coming now. Yeah, that was really amazing. So yeah, pentagonal, and look up platonic solids, look at sacred geometry, right? It's part of that sacredness. So super like grateful that to have this proof that the jewelry works. Now, here are some of the brain proof. Here is the brain without that Schumann frequency. Now, remember, ours has those other 4 frequencies in it, but just for the Schumann, they did, that $30,000 research, right? So before using the cell phone without those frequencies, you see the red, the overactivity in the brain. Basically, it's frying the brain, okay? After, okay, you have the Schumann frequencies in the device. Afterwards, there's no overactivity of the brain. So it's protective. So we do know it is protective. That's really, really exciting. So that's kind of the proof I want to share with you. The other thing I want to share with you is this 21 day, we call it the 21 day Ascension 3 challenge. So this is using the jewelry at a higher level. So instead of just wearing it or just saying, oh, heal me, okay, you can be very specific if you want. So we talk about the basics, then we talk about, somebody has maybe not so great boundaries, how to work with that, how to ask it to, delete negative emotions, vows, curses, heal entities, download certain positive morphic fields, how to help you manifest your future reality, how to balance your, spiritual gifts, your clairvoyance, things like that. Helping you with sleep, downloading the resiliency codes, helping you release trauma, curses. I said curses, I think already. Overwhelm. Anyway, so a lot of different things. And if you go to the Ascension 3 challenge, I'll put this link near this video. If you go karencan.com/A3 challenge, hopefully my pretty link will work. There it is. Okay. So, right now, as of this recording, this page is still up. So you can definitely go in here. It'll put each of those videos every single day for 21 days in your inbox, one at a time. And there will be a special day 22, which let's just say is censorable. So I'm not putting it on YouTube. But you can go ahead and register for this 21 day/22 day uh, challenge and get all these videos in your inbox, plus the bonus 20-second one as well, which is, let's just say, kind of cool and important. So that's what I want to share with you today. That is one of those healthy habits that I have every day. Now, when I sleep, I generally don't sleep with a crystal because they can break off, things like that. So I'll use one that is, less pricey. I have the silicone ones. Now this purple one actually is not Ascension 3, although it's in the Ascension 3 store. It is called the 3R formula. So I actually posted on the Instagram the formula, the energetic formula. So you may want to check that out on my Instagram, what this has. So this is very, very specific for energetic detoxification and to support you during these challenging times. Let's just say that. And then this one is Ascension 3, is the blue one. This says harness your superpowers. I am love, I am free. And we have child sizes, toddler sizes, and adult sizes. And yeah, so I don't normally sleep with the breakable stuff. I do have stud earrings and as well, and I do sleep with the stud earrings actually. And there's actually these pyramids. One of my clients said that she actually put one on each side of her bed, and she actually slept better. So I tried it, and when I muscle tested, that 4 would be helpful for James and uh, spiritual whatever, growth, support, whatever. So we have one on each corner of the room. I think it's a 10 by 10 room, so it's like one in each corner of the room. So not that you need that, but I just want to let you know what we're experimenting with right now. So I do sleep with the silicone bracelets. Actually, I never take them off. I mean, you're supposedly, I mean, they don't. It doesn't get ruined when you're, swimming or when you're, in the shower. But we do tell people to take it off just because, you know, I'm not them. So, whatever soaps they're using, or if they're in chlorine or whatever, I mean, maybe it'll disintegrate it. I don't know. People have broken them. I don't know how they broke them, but they have. I actually put them around my water bottles as well. Every single water bottle I have has a silicone Ascension 3 or 3R bracelet around it. And my wedding ring, actually, I got it infused, specialty infused. I really like this company. So I actually infused another ring too. So that's what I sleep with at night. So it gives me that automatic protection and healing, which I really, really enjoy. So that is, yeah, one of the healthy habits I want to share with you today. Because I'm doing this live, I'm going to check over at the chat just to see if there are any questions before I say goodbye for today. Let's see. Yeah, so someone says, I have the bracelet, but not sure how it works. Yeah, so definitely, I mean, the website will be open tomorrow, I believe at 11 or 10 a.m. Eastern. So you can check out what I just showed you, and also the link to the 21-day challenge. I'll actually put that link in the chat right now. Let me copy and paste that for 21-day challenge. Okay, that's the playlist. And then if you want the actual, email with that special day 22, then I'll put that in the chat as well. There you go. Okay, so you can command the bracelet. Absolutely, absolutely, yes. Yes, you're very welcome. Good refresher reminder. Awesome. Hi, Colette. Nice to see you. Hi, Lisa. Ooh, yeah, you're here live. Woohoo! That's awesome. That's fantastic. Okay, great. Yeah, if there's no other questions, thank you so much for watching this. If this is helpful, if you know someone else that you've gifted the, Ascension 3 jewelry, go ahead and share this video with them as well. Because yeah, it's easy to, forget stuff or not know more. And it is very, very powerful. The funny thing is people go, well, gee, how could it be so powerful? It doesn't cost that much, right? It's like, well, that's just our training is we if we don't pay a lot of if we don't pay tens of thousands of dollars, we don't think it doesn't work as well, but it really can. So definitely experiment with it, play with it. You can't do it wrong. And yeah, it actually is pretty amazing what you can do with it, and it's just like kind of sort of having your own little magic wand, for you to work with. Let's see. Okay, Lisa says, I never take my silicone bracelets off. Ascension 3 and 3R bracelets. Yeah, awesome. Does the purple one do all the Ascension 3? No. Okay, so the 3R has Ascension 1 and 2 in it. So that in that way, yes, you can command it to other things. That's a good point. However, it has all these other frequencies of beneficial 3D items. You can look on the picture, that help with energetic detoxification, supporting the immune system, and other body processes. So it's very, very specific to what's going on in the world right now. So it doesn't have the hiddenite gem, the Schumann resonance, but it has a whole bunch of other things infused into it. And when I worked with Energy Tools International, they had to do research for me. So I pay them to do some research and to see if all the frequencies could layer on each other in the same piece. So I just asked God, right? Like what what can I put together that will play well together in one piece of jewelry? So we got that list, and definitely my intention of what I wanted it to do as well. And so Energy Tools had to back me up and see if that was true, which it was. And they helped me with the proportions, because there's a strength in there. Each of the frequencies, they're at different strengths. So yeah, so we wanted to make sure it played well together, and so they are different, and I put both on just because I like colors. I like automatic, right? When we are 100% conscious 100% of the time, we won't need this stuff. Are you kidding me? Forget it, right? You don't need that. But I have not met a single human person that is 100% conscious, including myself. I'm getting to about 10% of my waking time, which is huge, huge. It took me 3 years to get here, right? So for the other 90% of the time, or for most people, 99.1% of the time, yeah, it helps to have a little backup. Yeah. Okay, fantastic, guys. Great to have you here. You're very welcome. Love to see you here. And hopefully we'll, see you next week when I do the next installment of the Healthy Habits, Healthy Life. Okay, until next time, bye for now.